Glad to have you with us for Titans All Access with Amy Wells. I'm Mike Keith, welcoming you to the BetMGM studio.
The second Titans All Access of the season sees us go beneath the surface as Dave McGinnis evaluates the impressive work of Jeffrey Simmons. As you saw last weekend in Chicago, the Titans secondary has a totally different look and mindset. Mike Keith's Follow Me Through Tennessee series is back, and they're starting in Memphis. And Ryan Stonehouse is back. In this week's Nissan Insider, he shares his journey to return from catastrophic injury. And of course, we've got the head coach,
Brian Callahan. Callie's Corner is presented by SeatGeek.
Some of the challenges that you might have had on offensive line, were those more technique issues or were they assignment issues?
More technique than assignment. We were relatively well assigned throughout most of the game. We didn't have any major glaring errors in our down-by-down assignments. I think we had more technique misses and losses, and so that's going to happen. You're going to lose one-on-one in pass rush sometimes. It happens. We can live with that. We just fix the technique and see if we can get better. So that's a little bit easier to live with when you're making some maybe more technical errors as opposed to schematic errors. But yeah, I just think we didn't do a good enough job in pass protection overall. They won more than we did, I think, when we needed to, and I think that part was, contributed to the loss.
The Jets are the next opponent. Obviously, they're playing Monday Night Football, so you get one less day to sort of dive in on them. Is that a team you spent some time preparing for in the preseason, knowing that you would have one less day?
Yeah, and I think there's a handful of us that have played that. They've got some continuity there, so they've played a similar system with coaches there for a couple of years, and so I played them in 21 and 22. My dad played against them in the same years, and we crossed over with that division, and so guys got some experience and have seen that system, and so I don't feel behind by any means by not having their first game.
How would you describe a Robert Saleh defense in terms of your offensive challenge against them?
So we have our hands full up front. They're an attacking jet-style rush front that's going to try to penetrate up the field, vertical knockback style front. They got one of the best corners in football in Sauce Gardner. Their linebackers are experienced and good players. That's a very, very, very good defense.
What are you expecting out of that crowd on Sunday when the Titans take on the Jets?
Seeing the Titans faithful really turn it up a notch, and I said it in my opening press conference that we need that. Our players feed off that. There's an energy and enthusiasm that the stadium feels, and if you ask any player, they'll tell you that makes a huge difference. And so we need it, and they're a part of us. When we win a game, they're a huge part of that process at home because you have an environment that's difficult to play in. It makes the home field advantage a real thing, and I know they're going to bring it, and we're going to need every bit of their support this Sunday as well.
For more of our conversation with Brian Callahan, we invite you to enjoy the OTP. You can watch the OTP on the Titans YouTube channel or at TennesseeTitans.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the OTP wherever you get your podcasts. There is only one official Titans podcast, better known as the OTP. Stay tuned. More Titans All Access right after this. Welcome back to Titans All Access from the BetMGM studio. Last December against Indianapolis, Titans punter Ryan Stonehouse took two massive shots, the second of which left him seriously injured and ended his season. Many feared in that moment that Stonehouse's career might have been ended. Almost amazingly, 9 months later, the best punter in the NFL over the last two seasons has returned. In this week's Nissan Insider, Amy Wells sits down with Ryan Stonehouse to discuss his injury, his comeback, and the fact that he is always moving forward. Always.
How good does it feel to be back on a football field?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, honestly, that was such a goal for me to just be active on the active roster, start camp, and that feeling when I talked to Rand and everything let me do this. I can't explain in words this journey that I've gone through to get here. How crazy it's been, and just for it to come full circle and be back is a win for me right now.
So it's December 3rd, 2023. We're playing the Colts. It's the beginning of the fourth quarter, and you get hit in your plant foot. At what point did you realize this is worse than someone hitting me in a way that I don't like to be hit?
It was something that was totally foreign, and I kind of knew things were bad. I mean, it hurt obviously, and it was something that I've never felt. So I knew something was definitely wrong, but you never really know the extent of the injury. And I remember when they were carrying me off the field, I remember putting my left foot down at some point, and there was nothing there supporting it. Wow, this is not going to be something that's just a cakewalk of a recovery. So that was obviously something that went through my mind, was am I going to be back in a year? Am I going to be back in 2 years? How long is it going to take?
Was there ever a point that you thought this could impact the trajectory of my career?
You never know really until a couple days after, what the extent of the injury is. And, that was a point where I was this could really take a really long time. But, luckily enough, that wasn't the case. And I was able to, find out what the extent was and feel a little bit more at ease about what it was. But obviously, yeah, I mean, it's something that was definitely crossed my mind.
What's your mental state like as all of this is going on?
The mental part is tough because you really have to think, I might be behind and coming back in terms of where everybody else is. I maybe have to catch up to that level. But I think what really kept me grounded was the fact that I'd go a couple weeks and have a good day. And I was okay, if I can have a good day, it's really just about how consistent of those days can I have.
Is it hard to trust your leg again?
It's almost like doing something for the first time, and you know you can do it, and you're like, oh, okay, that was pretty easy, let me do it again. And then it just becomes habit. And taking that next step in camp, I feel I've already had 1 day punting, but I feel okay, there was so much room for growth there.
While you were doing all of this, rehabbing a major injury, you were also embarking on a completely new career. Tell me about getting your real estate license.
Yeah, well, it was just it actually happened last September while we were in season. And I just felt I think a lot of guys would agree that during the season there's just a lot going on, and you kind of want a little bit of a break from football at some point, whether that's after practice or during your off day or whatever. And I thought, oh, this might be a good idea it's always been an interest of mine, and it's something that I felt okay, in the off season I could, do something with my time. And I love doing it, and so I figured, why not take the test? I did it with Morgan Cox, and we both got our license together, and so it's fun having someone around there with me to do it.
Do specialists just do everything together?
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
That's what I'm walking away with.
You'd be surprised. We're a tight group. And Morgan's such a competitor in that way. He's yeah, let's do it. And we tried to do it in record time, and we did it pretty good, and we both passed tests on the first time, so we were pretty psyched about that.
That's awesome. So is this the preparation for post-football?
I don't know. Probably not. I went to school for criminal justice. I love that kind of stuff. So I don't know if it's something after. I'm sure it will be eventually down the line, but I think it's gonna be something during and throughout. Like I said, I think it's just a great outlet to take a step back and do something to where my mind can kind of go somewhere else for a little bit.
When Titans All Access continues, I'm on the road in Memphis, Tennessee, talking about Tony Pollard, but talking about his famous parents and their business. That's next.
It's time for the decision of the week, brought to you by Hughes & Coleman. The Titans' decision to sign free agent running back Tony Pollard has brought more versatility to the position. The Memphis native's ability to do it all makes him one of the most feared backs in the league.
Gonna give it to Pollard on the left side to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone. Oh my goodness. Touchdown! Titans! Long distance information. Get me Memphis, Tennessee's own Tony Pollard.
Bringing Tony Pollard home to Tennessee is the decision of the week. Brought to you by Hughes & Coleman, official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans.
How about more Tony Pollard on Titans All Access? Well, maybe not exactly Tony Pollard. How about his family? In the first installment of Follow Me Through Tennessee, presented by Grayline, Mike Keith heads to Tony's hometown of Memphis to visit the family business. Now, their business is barbecue, and business is good.
Just down the street from Graceland sits this fine establishment, which has been in place for more than a dozen years. With the help of his wife, Toria, Terrence Pollard started as a mobile catering business in 1995.
He just had a dream that I want to have my own business. And then he left the trailer and found a spot, and he started cooking then.
In 2011, the Elvis Presley Boulevard restaurant became their home. Business was good, but then Tony Pollard became a star at Memphis's famed Melrose High School. When Tony got to Melrose and became a star, how much did your business improve?
It improved a whole lot.
Like his brother Terrion, Tony Pollard worked at the restaurant as a youngster, but Tony didn't love it like the others in the family do.
Worked the whole year because he was getting ready to stop playing football, but he went back after that.
Because he missed the game too much. Tony does have a favorite dish, however. He loves the ribs, and it's obvious why.
Oh, gosh.
There's your answer. When you meet Toria and Terrence Pollard and see the success of their restaurant, you understand Tony Pollard's football success. The versatility aspect of his game. The fact that he can basically do everything. Why has he been able to develop as a player in that way from having seen him since he started playing the game?
Well, I guess really because they started him on the line. He played defense when he first started playing.
He played defensive line?
Yeah, he was on the line when he was a little old boy.
Because you know, he told me when he was 6, I'm going to the NFL.
He told you when he was 6?
Yes, he did.
How did this come up?
Because, you know, I asked all my kids, what do you want to be, or what do you want to do when you get older or you grow up? He kept saying, I'm going to the NFL. And I said, Tony, be realistic. I'm like, you know, just think of something that you would really want to do. And he was like, no, Mom, I'm going to the NFL. And I was like, no, you're not. So he did. He proved me wrong.
Tony Pollard is a hard-working, no-nonsense player. He punches the clock every single day, prepared to give his best and then some. At Pollard's Barbecue, you get the exact same vibe. The food is delicious.
Put a little pork in it.
It's burned on the end. Mm-hmm. That's what you want.
Okay, that is what you want.
Oh, God. The service is wonderful, and customers come and go with smiles. Pollard's Barbecue is open every day, prepared to give you their best and then some. It's obviously a family trait. Thank you.
You are so welcome.
And we are so glad that Tony Pollard is a Titan.
And so is his family.
Yes.
When Titans All Access continues, we dive into a position group that is different in every way possible in 2024. A look at the Tennessee secondary is next.
Let's talk about Titans House, the brand new Nissan Stadium Experience Center. Your Titans House appointment is your key to unlocking a membership at the epicenter of entertainment in Nashville. Here, you'll get an immersive glimpse of all the seating options, benefits, and perks available at the new stadium. So far, we've fully sold out of club seats, and our reserve seat memberships go on sale this October. Nearly 40% of seat memberships will be under $3,500 with 30 different price points to choose from. Studio boxes, mosh pit memberships, terrace, 200 and lower level seats are up for grabs, but they're going fast. We have hundreds of visitors coming by every day, so don't wait to secure your spot at Titans House. Call 615-565-4600 to claim your seat today.
The coaches are largely different. The personnel is as well. And the mindset and strategy, well, wildly different. Amy Wells takes us inside the 2024 Tennessee Titans secondary.
There's a lot of new in the halls of Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, but there's one group that has almost completely transformed. From personnel to personality, the Titans secondary is almost brand new.
I mean, it's been a good adjustment, though. I mean, I would say that it's a little different defensively, defensive scheme-wise than we did last year, what I've been used to. But, I mean, overall, I mean, I love it. I love the change. I love when I'm hearing new key coaching points that I haven't heard from before from different prospective players. Both my coaches and the DC Denard, they all play safety. So now I'm hearing different techniques, different things that I might not have heard before that I'm hearing now.
Chris Harris and Steve Jackson, led by new defensive coordinator Denard Wilson, have revamped the defensive backfield in 2024. And sometimes to build something, you first have to strip it down.
Everything starts with communication. That's with anything. That's with any relationship, any job, whatever you're doing.
And make sure y'all loud and y'all communicate. All right, if you make a call, everybody get it.
The first thing is communication, and so we have to be able to communicate in the same language, talk in the same language.
Establishing the type of player they were looking for was easy, and the description came with a convenient acronym.
We've got a saying around here, DAWG, D-A-W-G. We're looking for dogs, discipline, ass with grit. We're going to be a tough physical secondary. That's kind of a non-negotiable. Guys got to come up, guys got to be willing to tackle, guys got to stick their face in there. Everybody's got to play their part.
Free agents like L'Jarius Sneed, Chidobe Awuzie, Jamal Adams, and Quandre Diggs have all been perfect fits for this new defense.
I think we have a very good group. I'm excited about adding Chidobe. He brings an experience with them, as well as L'Jarius. The way he works, he's a ultimate pro. In the way he approaches everything. Those guys have a tremendous work ethic, and I think the other players see it. I'm excited about the group that we've got. It's a good nucleus of some veteran guys and some young players.
With so much new in this group, one thing that is not changing is the excitement that everyone has for this defense and the chance to do something great in 2024.
The best part of the defense, everyone can make plays. It's not even really tailored to the corners, tailored to the linebackers, it's whoever's at a certain position. It's a positionless defense. It doesn't really matter where you're at, you can be impactful and make plays.
Aggressive mindset. That's the theme of this edition of Titans All Access. When we continue, let's go beneath the surface for a look at a guy who has aggressive mindset as his calling card. I'm talking about Big Jeff, Jeffrey Simmons. He's Coach Mac's target next.
Levis in the gun with Pollard on his left hip. Levis under pressure, firing towards Okonkwo. He caught that ball in that end zone. Touchdown, Titans! What an adjustment! Chig Okonkwo!
And the Titans have extended.
Jeffrey Simmons is intense on game day, but he also brings that intensity to the practice field.
In this week's Beneath the Surface, powered by Microsoft Surface, Coach Dave McGinnis watches the Pro Bowl defensive tackle put in his work and, not surprisingly, comes away impressed.
We're going to do Jeffrey Simmons today. And with Jeffrey Simmons, we'll be looking at the rest of the defensive line, coached by Tracy Rocker. Jeffrey Simmons has always been a very, very mature player, and also he's been very, very mature physically. I mean, he's been so mature physically. I remember watching him work when he first came in here coming off of the ACL. This guy, every season he comes back and looks to me like, for a big man, he's got more and more NFL body ready. And that's what all these guys have to learn. There's a difference in getting your body ready for the National Football League than there is getting your body ready for collegiate football. It's just life. Jeffrey Simmons is a very, very nimble, big guy. He's a big man, but he's got excellent movement. He's got excellent movement. It's nearly effortless the way he moves. Stay down with your base, keep a flex in your knees, keep a flex. You don't want to get straight-legged ever. Attention to detail is completely different. Now he's finishing it with a swipe club move on the dummy. What he's doing now is avoiding trash, and he just wants to form-fit tackle. Everything's got to be quick. Everything's got to be from a fire point very, very quickly. They're competing even in the individual drills. You're competing against two things. You're competing against yourself to improve, and you're also competing against, if there's two men in the drill, against the other person. What they're working on now, how fast can they get off out of a balanced stance? A two-man shock and shed sled from either a 3 or a 4-point stance. They will work it all season in whatever individual time they have allotted. The shock and shed part of it will always be a part of it because it has to be second nature to you. So watch all of these guys. They're going to attack one defender and then split it upfield. See this right here? There we go. All right, here's Big Jeff going right here. Now they've got the entire line in there for spacing. That's a pretty good rep by both of those guys in. That's a good rep by Peter Skronsky, and that's a good rep by Jeffrey Simmons. You want to go good on good in this stuff. You want to go good on good because that's the only way you're going to be able to improve. Got to be able to work against each other. Jeffrey Simmons is such the complete package, and he continues to work to get better. I've been with some great defensive linemen in my coaching career, great ones, Hall of Fame players. They always worked.
Coach Mack joins Amy, me, and the rest of the Titans radio team this Sunday for the home opener at Nissan Stadium. It's Titans-Jets this Sunday. Titans Countdown hits the air at 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, on Titans radio stations throughout the region. We hope you'll join us. For Amy Wells, I'm Mike Keith. Thanks for joining us for Titans All Access, and we'll see you next time.